Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Super excited once again. I use the word excited a lot when I film, I just realized. I think that's just because I am genuinely excited to be like doing something productive and having a reason to get dressed and like do this to my face. But I'm excited nonetheless today because today I am reviewing the Bfree cup. The Bfree cup right here for you guys. And yeah, it's a pretty cool cup. Okay, so you guys keep telling me that you still want to see all the bloody details. You love it when I show myself documenting using the cup and showing the blood and everything else, so I have included that in today's video. I do want to start off in noting that this is being sponsored by Bfree, and because it's being sponsored by Bfree, I spent a long time using this cup before even filming today. So the clips that you're gonna see, which if you don't wanna see them, you could skip to the end for like how I really feel about the cup, if I love it, blah, blah, blah. I guess I kind of spoiled that in the beginning when I said it's a pretty cool cup. But if you don't wanna see those, you can skip to the end. But yeah, you'll see in those clips, I actually started using this cup in the middle of the summer. So months ago, because it's now November. So I've use this a lot, and again, because this video is being sponsored by them, I wanted to make sure I was being completely just like honest with how I felt about it and how I really liked it and all of that. I actually didn't even take the sponsorship with them until I tried it the first time, and I was confident in knowing like, oh, I actually do like this cup, which again, dang it, I'm not doing very well with this whole like suspenseful, do I like it or not, wait till the end. I love this cup. If you're not familiar with it, it is a very special and unique cup in my opinion. First off, it comes in a nice reusable tin. This is the packaging, super recyclable. You can reuse it for things. Outside the tin, it tells you what's included. It gives you some details on how to use the cup. It's just a nice little metal reusable tin. In the tin, you also get a little carrying bag, and this is where I really like Bfree. They really are trying to be as sustainable and as reusable as possible with everything from their cup to their packaging. So not only is the metal tin nice because it's reusable and it's nice and sturdy and you can store things in it or use it for something else, but the carrying bag itself has instructions on how to insert the cup as well if you want to use the carrying bag. Now, I actually don't use any of my storage bags for any of my cup storage. I just kind of fling them in my top shelf or drawer of our vanity, or I literally will just leave them in the shower, and then when my period comes, I'm like, oh, grab a cup, put it in. Which brings me to my next nice thing about this cup. This cup is the first 100% medical grade silicone cup that is antibacterial. So what that means is that you do not have to clean this cup in between uses, which it's the first Friday of the month. Pardon me, my city is deciding to set its alarms off. Okay, I don't know exactly where I left off in my train of thought before that stupid alarm went off, but because it's complete antibacterial, like I said, you do not have to boil or wash this cup between use. You can just wipe it clean and then reuse it again. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't usually boil my cups anymore in between uses in general, which again, we've learned over the years to do as Kelly says, not as Kelly does. It makes way more sense for people in countries that don't have a lot of clean water accessible to them or any at all. It makes sense to use in places like homeless shelters or prisons or things like that. Like, you know, cups for me has been something that I've really wanted to educate people on, not just my subscribers, but in some way, shape, or form. Maybe this will be Kelly's third or fourth or fifth act, you know, eventually to be able to help educate people who menstruate in prisons or, you know, or who are homeless. Like, that is eventually something that I would like to do with my life. So to be able to have a cup that does not need cleaning or sanitizing in between use is a huge game changer. So not only is this cup antibacterial antibacterial, but what also makes it different is that there is not a single hole in the cup, which helps with bacteria growth. You know, if you don't have any tiny crevices for it to go into and lock into, then things won't grow there. Also, there's some proprietary thing about the silicone and the way they made this that makes it antibacterial as well, but the fact that it doesn't have holes is a huge win for me because I find a lot of my cups actually getting kind of crusty inside the holes around the rim. Now there is one hole at the bottom. The bottom is a ball with a grippy on the outside. There's a hole on the inside. I thought this would be an issue with holding on to blood or water or things like that, but because of the way the hole is shaped and how big it is, and because it's not very deep, water and stuff just actually just rinses right out and comes out and dries. There's nothing that stays in there and collects, which was surprising to me. The shape of this cup is very similar to most cups. The difference is though, however, the bottom right here, I don't know if you can see, but instead of being completely smooth, you can kind of tell, it almost ridges in like facets, like a diamond kind of goes smooth and round, then smooth and round. There are a bunch of different smooth with little grippers, you can kind of see it better there, where you can really grasp onto the cup and pull it down and get it out to break the suction. On the inside of the cup, you're not going to be able to see it very well just from me showing you it here, but there is kind of almost a lotus shaped leaf design on the inside. I think it might be just to help maybe with the integrity of it and popping open and staying open while inside of you. Now the flange, or the flared out rim up top, is really soft when you feel it, but in general, the whole rim itself together, you can hear it, is very firm. It's a very firm cup. It's come in a bunch of different sizes, all from being super duper small to a large. I didn't even attempt to use this tiny one because we've talked about this before. Like, this is snack size for Kelly's vagina. I would like, my vagina would just devour it and it would just disappear. Like, I just know that about myself, that I'm not about to put this up there and possibly lose it and have a hard time getting it down. So I did use the orange one, and again, they're all super firm. The rim is super firm, and I thought this thing, because it looks huge, the ball at the bottom for the stem seems really huge and it's very firm. I thought it would be really uncomfortable, but it actually fit inside of me very, very well. But yeah, they do have a very wide range of sizes. I will say the smaller you get, it gets a little bit softer, but across the board, all the sizes, the rims are all very, very firm, and they do pop up very hard and very fast, which I'll talk about that a little bit more after the clips. Now that I've talked a little bit about just kind of what it looks like, the design of it and all of that, let's get to the clips of me actually using the cup, and then you guys can see kind of my first reactions to it. I've used this a lot, but I only filmed my first time using it. So I'll talk more at the end of the clips about kind of what I discovered as I continue to use this cup over the last few months, and then also kind of what I realized wasn't as much of an issue in those clips now that I'm better at using it than when I filmed the first clips first time using it. Again, if you don't want to watch any of that bloody nonsense, skip to the end and you can just hear me babble on more about the cup. Alright guys, day possibly one of my period. I think this is the size 3 in. I don't know, it was very hard to decipher which one was which because the size difference is so slight. And I'm gonna try to put this in. Ooh. Let's see. It went open really easy. Let's see, there's my cervix. My cervix is super high right now. Let's get that situated. That was a lot easier to put in than I thought. I don't feel it at all, which is good because I kind of was fearing that I would feel it because of the lip was so differently shaped than most of my other cups, and also that bell bottom was really firm and there wasn't a lot of give to that bottom and it looked big. That was a really fast entry and I don't feel it, so I'm gonna keep it in, see what happens today. It's like midnight. I've had this thing in for over 12 hours. I've taken it out all day. I can definitely tell that I've started my period because it just like, I feel it, you know? So let's check the cup real quick because I want to go to bed. So there's absolutely zero leaking in my underwear. I went pee numerous times with it in and it wasn't an issue. Hold on, I need toilet paper. Yeah. The camera. No. Alright, so I have some like stringiness, as you can see, that I'm trying to like get off, some snotty. Okay, it's not gonna come off, it's just gonna act like silly string right now. Oh my god, okay. Oh my god. Alright, I'm not gonna play with my period in front of you guys, but there is blood in there. Can you see that? So I put this in before my period started. Awesome. It caught all the blood. There was zero leaking. As you can see, it's clean all the way around. Zero leaking. Zero leaking. I always emphasize that because I'm always like so pleasantly surprised when I find that there's zero leaking in my underwear on the first try of trying a new cup, because I feel like there's always a learning period. And because of that, it can leak and stuff if you don't place it properly. And this one, again, I was a little bit concerned about just because it's so different from other cups that I've used, but it went in perfectly fine. It caught all of my blood. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it came out really easily. I will say the kind of sharp / firmness of this like thinner edge kind of caught me off guard towards the opening of my vagina. It didn't hurt, but it was just like a weird like squeegee scraping feeling, which sounds bad, but it just was different than other cups. It didn't feel as smooth. I just could tell like, oh, okay, there's that rim and ridge suction-y part. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna put this back in, give it a good rinse, put it back in, wash my hands, brush my teeth, and then go to bed. It came clean really well too. No blood anywhere, no holes for stuff to get stuck in. I can get on board with this. All right, so, okay, there you go. So it's wet because I rinsed it, and because the rim pops up so firmly and quickly, if your fingers are slippery, it's gonna do that. So be careful. I just did that and it kind of snapped my vagina opening, but yeah, so you wanna just make sure to have a really good firm grip. And then once it passes, like once that corner's in, just let go, and it kind of does its own thing. It just like opens up on its own, which is kind of cool. Good morning. Don't fall. Okay, so I've had this cup in for, let's see, I went to bed yesterday at like midnight. So it is 12 o'clock. I look like a hot mess. It's raining outside and we literally have nothing planned or nothing that we need to do, and the kids have just been relaxing, and so I woke up and just kind of like stayed in bed for 2 hours responding back to emails on my phone and like getting some work done. So I was very like productive, but also not at the same time. This cup in then for 12 hours because that's kind of the nice thing about wearing cups, is that you don't have to really worry about rushing out of bed like I used to have to, where I'd like feel it leaking up my butt crack or something, or like I could feel it seeping through the wings, or you know, there's just lots of issues. So anyways, I am going to take this out and show you guys what's going on. Zero leaking in my period underwear. I have a little bit of discharge. I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. No leaking. I just wiped that to see if that was like red. It's not. That little liquid spot, that is just regular discharge. That was the most awkward view or an angle I've ever done on this channel so far. Not gonna do that again. But yeah, it caught all of the blood. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I feel like that one movie, Sweetest Thing, where she's like shaking her arm fat. Anyways, yeah, it caught all the blood. Very comfortable, didn't feel it. A little bit hard to get down, so I wouldn't, for me, I would not, definitely not put that little one up me at all, because that thing would disappear and never come back down. Like I said, my vagina would eat it. So let's reinsert it and go about our day. I really have to hold tight, like I said. Hold tight because it's slippery when wet. But man, does it go in easy and open easily. Okay, that is on the wrong side of my cervix. That good? That's good. Okay. All right. Pretty nice. I actually feel like because the top of it flares out, it almost helps it like scoop my cervix in. Does that make sense? So far so good. So far so great. Getting down to the nitty gritty of this cup. I really, really love this cup. One of the reasons why I haven't posted or filmed my top 5 favorite menstrual cups is because I was waiting to do this cup review first, because this is up there. I have been even past using it just for this review. Obviously, I started using this in the middle of the summer, so I've had 3 or 4. My mind is everywhere, so I can't completely remember, but I think I've had 3 or 4 periods with this. October, I had 2 periods. Birthday month, of course, I have 2 periods. I would say I've used this for 4 cycles now, and I technically didn't need to keep using it because I knew pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this review and how I felt about the cup. But because it's so easy to use, and because I loved it so much, and because I didn't have to clean it or feel like I needed to clean it in between use, it was just the first cup that I grabbed for, and that was just there, and it works really well, so why not? If you saw those clips, this might seem repetitive to you, but I will say about the little flange. First off, I love it because it's curved and so like thin and fine right there. It really does snug behind my cervix perfectly, especially when my cervix is really high up and I can't necessarily feel it to get it around. And even actually more so when it's really low, and sometimes when my push down fold doesn't want to come up because my cervix is in the way. It's really nice because this is so fine and thin and kind of curved. It kind of just slides nicely where it needs to go, which I really like. One downside of this flange is that if you're not careful, the combination of the super firm rim and the combination of almost the sharp thinness of the little flare out, the combination of the two, if you pop that thing open too early because it's so slippery, and if your hands are wet because you just like were in the shower or had blood on your fingers or whatever, if it pops open too fast, that little like edge, if that thing clips your clit, you see Jesus. It's like a lightning bolt. At least it was for me. So one thing I did take away from using this multiple times was to be very careful in making sure that this was past the opening of my vagina before I started releasing it. Really like the firmness of this cup because you guys know my tried and true, and I think what I suggest to most everyone, insertion technique or fold for a cup is the push down, because I think it is the most easiest to understand, and also easiest to open in my opinion and most people I've talked to. But basically what I do with this is I grab the ball, I push down with my pointer finger, get it nice like that, and then I fold it and hold it. Now again, if your hands are slippery, be careful because it's very slippery and will open prematurely. But if you get a firm grip and you make sure your hands are somewhat dry and you're just very aware of holding it together, once you get that through the opening and you make sure that phalange is cleared, all you do is just start pushing this open at the bottom and it just nicely opens. Now once I get it to this point, I'm clear, my clit's safe, it's not gonna get flicked, it's all good. I can then just push it up and kind of scooch it around so it's underneath and around and placed nicely underneath my cervix where my blood is coming out. So I really like the firmness and the structure of this cup because it not only allows me to get the cup in and open it really easily, like it popped open super fast every single time, but because it's so firm and structured nicely, I can easily just kind of push it up. Now I say that because another thing that I've had an issue with is if you pop it open too fast inside of you, you can also hit or nick your cervix, and any cup will do this, not just this cup, but any cup can do that, where like if it's too close to your cervix, that'll hurt too. So again, I love this cup because I can get it past the front part of my vagina or opening, and then I can open it at the edge, and then because it's so firm and the ball is nice and the stem ball is nice, I can just, again, just push it up there. Now after I got up there, my cervix is everywhere during my period, so sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. That's kind of when you just adjust it. You move it around and then you do the swipe around with your finger to make sure there's a good seal. and it holds open really well. What I will say about this cup is if you can get the hang of it, which honestly for me it didn't take long. Again, I have a lot of cup experience, so that plays a part, but I don't think it's a difficult cup to learn how to use, and once you learn how to use it properly, you'll be so happy if you can find the right size that fits you well. I love this cup. I did yoga in this cup. I did all of my outdoor soccer games with this cup, and I didn't have any issues with leaking at all. I didn't have any issues with cramping or weird feelings on my cervix, which sometimes I get from super firm cups. And again, I didn't ever have to worry about washing it in between, so there was no stress of like, oh my gosh, I forgot to boil my cup, which again, I stopped doing because I was sick of being stressed about that. Which cup do I grab for? This is a great cup. Because the suction is so strong, however, again, remember to break the suction before you pull that sucker down, especially if you have an IUD. It's very rare when I find a cup that doesn't eventually want to migrate itself down in my vagina, and I've mentioned before that sometimes I appreciate that because then I definitely don't forget that it's in there and I have to empty it. But honestly, now that I've been using this cup and I haven't had that feeling of like premature falling down, I actually really prefer not to feel that ever, because I can pretty much remember that I have a cup inside of me when I'm on my period, and I know to empty it at night. Now, like I said, it does come in a ton of different sizes, so I'm hoping that if you guys want to check this cup out, you'll be able to find one that fits you well. I think the only downside is going to be for people who are heavy bleeders who might need a super small size in this. You may have to empty more often, but I think that's going to be true of any cup if you need to have it in a super small size because you're very tight down there, or you just have a more petite body, or for whatever reason, or you just need a smaller cup. But I really hope you guys can find a size that you like, because this is definitely a cup worth trying. It is manufactured in Canada for all my Maple Leafs out there, but it is shipped all over the place, thankfully, even though it is based in Canada. I know that is also a rare thing to hear and see, is a cup that is manufactured in Canada and also be able to be sold in Canada, in the United States, and other countries. There you have it. There's my review of the cup. I hope this was helpful. I'm super happy that I was finally able to talk about this cup with you guys. I've been waiting months to do this. Now I can release my top 5 favorite cup video because this is on the top of the list. And yeah, if you enjoy these videos, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see a future product featured on this YouTube channel, make sure to leave comments below. If you have any questions, leave comments below. This community is great. Even though I try to comment back as much as possible, I don't always have the time. So it's really nice because there's so many experienced cup users and reusable menstrual product users here that can kind of help out in regards to answering your questions if you're a first-time user, or maybe just have a simple question about one of the products that I've mentioned. As always, I appreciate your support, your views, your comments, your likes, your just positive energy here, and I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Bye.